Everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. As we wait for the comics to come in, let me bring in my man Talent. What's up, T? How you doing, sir?
Hey, you see what it is. That green is real. First of all, congratulations.
On.
You see your hat. Let's see you got your hat on. Don't play stupid thing. Don't do that. Don't, like I used to tell ex-girlfriends, don't IMI me, my nigga. Don't insult my intelligence.
Bro, I wear my Patriots hat every day.
Come on, man. 27. You know, the night lights. You guys showed up, showed out, got the V. Come on, don't play. Don't play. You know what I was saying.
No, I really didn't, but it's all.
So I got this bright ass green jet shirt on and tell you congratulations. You got your New England hat on, but you for what? What happened? What? Really? Wow.
My man Mike Sean is also in the building. Mike, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. Congratulations, Frank. Congratulations.
Ask him, Frank. Ask him.
For what?
For what? For the Celtics getting blown out by the Clippers. That's why.
That's the smart ass remark I expect.
But see, you know I don't do you dirty like that. I take my wins above board, brother.
All right, okay. All right, we
gonna Mike gonna give a damn. Mike gonna knee you in the nuts. Give him a chance. He gonna bring it up. He gonna bring it to you.
I don't even care what he does. It's all good because at the end of the day, you know what I mean. We were down 2 starters. You know what I mean. So you know, name me a team that's gonna win. We're down there 2 starters. You know what I mean. So it's all good. You know what I mean. I ain't mad at it.
You're not gonna get me into that trap. No, you're not. You're not gonna, because I can name teams that win without 2 starters, but I'm not.
You can't name no team that's gonna win down 2 starters. Mike, don't start. It's the beginning of the show, man. Please let me just do the show.
You're wrong.
Well, Fig ain't here, so Mike got to do that right now.
I gotta do it.
All right. So T, let's get ready to get this show started, man. You know, yesterday we talked about literally Chris Beard, and we talked about him getting ready to get into some issues. What we didn't say is that what happened, and we found out that he was strangling his fiance. But now, come to find out, he strangled his fiance. He hit her. He bit her. And he got into and he physically assaulted her with some fists and stuff like that. So, and the Texas, literally, they're in the top 5. Let's put it out there like this: they're in the top 5.
Right.
And suspended him right now without pay. Like right now, he's suspended without pay. That's what he's looking at. So,
well, that's Texas. Well, Texas is a weird state, so I don't know how their lawyers. But here in New York, it matters in the order you do all these things.
Right.
Jesus.
So if you. Right. If the choke is from the middle to the ladder, you know you could beat that. But you say you put hands on her, that changes everything. Like hand, fist.
He bit her too. Like he bit her too. Like that's a big deal too. A man.
Well, that's 5 years automatic in New York. That's like a loaded gun. You can't bite. Yeah. No, not really. I don't know. No biting.
For real.
No, but you know, I didn't I say this yesterday? I knew more was going to come out. Like whenever we get that first release, that surfacey story to break it, it's always some little more details that go crazy. So now here we are. All of a sudden, it goes far away from the funny we had yesterday. The funny we had yesterday, oh, he choked her, people like rough sex and all that. We're far removed from that now. Now we know this was a straight domestic violence dispute where that's a full fight. Everything you named are things that happen in a full-fledged fight. Biting, scratching, hitting, punching, you know, choking, strangulation. That's a full brawl right there. And here's the thing, bro, I can't defend people, you know, a guy like me. I try to avoid as much fights as anything because if I'm the bigger guy, I'm gonna get in the most trouble.
Right.
I just know that. So if you're a football player, you know, you're dealing with football team and stuff like that, and you got that physical physique and everything, and this is a woman, we already know which way this is going, Frank, and I'm not mad.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Mike, I gotta say, T ain't wrong. But again, his lawyer unequivocally came out and said that all these things are not true. I don't know how he's gonna fight bite marks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. If she took pictures of the bite marks and everything else, I think he's done. But, you know, what's your take on this, Mike?
He better. First of all, it's disturbing. And what I feel was these two we're in some type of real violent situation, and as a man, you got to walk away. And I know it's easier said than done. I've had to walk away. Most guys that I know, you can't get yourself involved in something like that. You're wrong. And when you can, if they can prove this, now that is something we got to remember. They have to prove these allegations. And that's where you got to go to court, and you got to let the justice system play out. But Texas has they have no choice but to suspend them.
Right.
And this is what kills me. The Celtics suspended a coach indefinitely for having sex with somebody's wife.
With pay.
You would think Texas right now would say, look, you're suspended indefinitely until we find this all out. Now, I know it's two different organizations. They got two different ways of doing things. I get it. But this would be something where I couldn't fight on that if they said, dog, you're suspended till you clear this up. We can't have this.
1,000%, Mike. You hit the nail on the head with that one, man. And the other news story, we got to talk about the NFL game last night. Before we talk about the Patriots winning the game and everything else, I got to bring this up to you. Kyler Murray, third play of the game, bro. Like, third play of the game. Literally a couple of months removed from a guaranteed $125 million contract. I think it was $125 million.
No, he signed.
$125 million guaranteed contract, a couple of months removed from that. Like, he already signed. He signed his contract. He signed, seal, deliver. His coach is on the hot seat. Third play of the game, they trying to find their rhythm, and he gets injured, which looks like it's going to be for 10 months. So not only is he going to miss the rest of this season, he's going to miss all of next season. Looks like. What's your thought on Kyler Murray and the Cardinals organization having to deal with this situation after Kyler Murray signed that huge contract?
Man, I heard some rumors this morning, a lot of chatter of this year alone. This being a big part of it, Kyler Murray, but this year alone, they put up the top 6 contracts. And the biggest contracts are troublesome. Either the teams in the basement of garbage, not winning, getting blown out, the quarterback's benched or just stinking it up or injured or out. And the only one in that 6 that is not injured but still is in a bad situation is Watson, because he's, in the Browns coming out so late in the season or whatever. But all 6 of these mega contracts are having trouble. So that's drumming up is the valid conversation of not giving these quarterbacks these big contracts. Now, you already know the NFL made a practice on not guaranteeing money. So you got a couple of these exceptions to the rule for some of these super players, but I think now we're about to take a big step backwards.
Interesting. Well, I would just throw some kickback and say Patrick Mahomes got a huge contract, and he's probably the only one doing good with his huge contract. You know what I mean? He's probably the only one.
Yeah, he's not on the list.
All right. So before I go to Mike, what's your take on the game itself, man? Like, obviously the Patriots won the game, and I'm gonna say this so y'all can't think I'm just over huge. I thought the Patriots played horrible. I thought it was a horrible game. I don't see them even making to the playoffs. I was so upset. Even though they won the game, I was like, I'm not happy. That wasn't Patriots football to me. You know what I mean? But what was your take on the Cardinals Patriots game? If you watched it, if you finished watching it.
Well, I told you I was gonna write poetry during most of the game, and
Mike, I said T.
Oh, I thought T just answered.
Hey, I'm coming to you. I asked him 2 questions.
My bad. I was just going in order. You got to all right, Remix King. Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Frank. No worries. I have my poem ready right here. Was a cold Monday night, and all was suspect. No, but you know what? I watched most of the game. I actually thought it was a very good game. I'm impressed by New England's defense. I thought it was very mediocre, half a season back or whatever. But watching them over the last bunch of games and last night's show really, really good. I loved it. Like, you guys, that's what's making everybody forget about how mediocre the quarterback is. The D is actually good. You guys act. I mean, we expect that because of Belichick, but the D is actually super good. That made that game very juicy last night. That game was nice. You know what I mean? And when you got late in the game with the turnover and the defense did what they did to get that score to take the lead, great game. I ain't got no problem with the game. That's how I like my evening football. You can stink it up in the daytime. That's just how I feel about football. You can stink it up in the daytime, but not the nighttime, because nighttime's when to drink.
Yeah, nighttime games is serious. All right, Mike, I got 2 questions for you. First one, I got to ask you the same question: how you feel about this Kyler Murray situation and how you're looking at it right now, and the Cardinals organization, knowing they just paid Kyler Murray 125, 150 million guaranteed. And what's your thoughts on this Cardinals organization for the next 10 months, 12 months? What's your thoughts on it?
I just want to say, Jimmy G, the weather is beautiful in Arizona. So get ready. The weather is beautiful in Arizona. You only make $2 million a year. There's no reason why the Cardinals wouldn't bring you on over there. And it's nice out there, dog. It's nice. Number 2, the worst part of that injury is that the Cardinals didn't even want to pay him. They didn't even want to sign the contract.
Right.
They had to because they had no options. So they had to. So their worst nightmare happened. We didn't even want to give you the money. And now this happens on a non-contact situation. You can win a Super Bowl. I want to tell all the general managers out there, you can win a Super Bowl with just a good quarterback. You don't need a superstar to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. Golf almost won a Super Bowl. Jimmy G was one pass away from winning a Super Bowl.
Baltimore Ravens QB won a Super Bowl.
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Yeah. Jeff Hostetler won a Super Bowl. I mean, you don't have to have a superstar. I'm not saying you have to have a scrub. You do have to have a good quarterback. Now, the list that Talon is talking about, that list was crucial because general managers, all they need is a little hint of evidence to say, oh, we got to take this money back, because they've been dying to take the money back. It's breaking their hearts that Cleveland gave Deshaun Watson what they gave him. Like, they all wanted to pull up on the Cleveland organization, like, what are you doing right now? Where are you're putting us in a bad situation?
Right.
This is going to be something. If this Brock Purdy were ever to win a Super Bowl, that would change the landscape of the NFL right now.
Dude, if he gets to the Super Bowl, forget about if he wins. If he gets to the Super Bowl, you're right.
It changed the whole landscape, because I'm telling you, the owners were trying to find a way, because it was getting to be a joke. Every year, the market value was going higher and higher. It's like when the housing thing crashed. When it finally crashed, it may just be about the crash.
Right.
And if you're a free agent, but go ahead.
Second question to you now. Now that you saw the game last night, man, what's your outlook on the Arizona Cardinals as an organization and the New England Patriots as an organization? And I know you wrote a poem, so how do you?
Yeah, I wrote a poem. It was called "The Best Thing About the Head Coach of the Cardinals is His Beard. His beard is vicious. Like his beard, the shape up on his beard, like his beard. Like after I watched some of the game, after I finished writing my poems, I went to the mirror and tried to get my beard right. Because that's the best thing about that guy. First of all, a guy who failed in college, got a head coaching job in the NFL was ridiculous. He's done. He's finished. It's over. This is the last season that he'll be a head coach with the Cardinals. The game, the Cardinals were the Cardinals were. And a win in the NFL is a win in the NFL. I couldn't get too interested, because when I watch a game with two teams that I know are no threat to go to the Super Bowl this late in the season, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. But, you got a backup quarterback who can't win. You knew it was over. It was over. So, I mean, I feel bad for Troy and Buck. They gotta announce these. They went from announcing the best game of the week every week to announcing the Cardinals. So, God bless you.
No doubt about that. So, T, in other news, the Dallas Cowboys now look like they passed on OBJ. Dallas Cowboys ended up taking a flyer on T.Y. Hilton, former Indianapolis Colts wide receiver and everything else. They ended up signing T.Y. Hilton yesterday. So word is coming out of Dallas right now that OBJ is definitely not going to come on the Cowboys. So do you think T.Y. Hilton is going to be the answer to what the Cowboys needed to help them get over the hump? Because people are saying, that they're trying to win and win their first playoff game. And do you think T.Y. Hilton is that guy to help to do that?
No. I think Dallas problem is not actually individual players and components. I think their problem is unit. They have this knack for falling out of a unit's cohesiveness, if you will, during the crucial times of a game. So it's not one player, because you look at the Dallas thing. Sometimes the defense just lays down. Sometimes the offensive line lets that get smashed up. like it's all over the place. Sometimes it's easy drop pass, sometimes it's turnovers. They have a problem with consistent, play as a unit. So I don't think it's like, oh, we go grab this one guy and we're going through the playoffs. That's not their problem, man. Their problem is that coach to quarterback communication over there. You can see it when it drops. Their problem is these sporadic drops at key moments of the games. So I don't know. My answer is no one player. Even if it was Odell, I don't think the one player is going to catapult them over, because NFC, you still got the Eagles out there. You still got teams scratching and clawing and banging. And I think they just got to play all around solid games and take it one game at a time. Sometimes they get ahead of themselves.
Interesting take. Mike, Sean, do you think T.Y. Hilton is the answer that the Cowboys needed to help them win their first playoff game and possibly get to the Super Bowl?
If I was a Cowboy fan, I'd be very worried that the Cowboys are this desperate to add somebody to their team, that they really feel that they need another piece this late in the season. Like, it's one thing to get a complimentary player because you already feel that you got the squad, a la what the Rams did. The Rams were like, we think we're going to make the Super Bowl, but we're going to get this luxury piece in Odell Beckham and help us out. The Cowboys are really almost fessing up that they feel that they only have CeeDee Lamb and that their receivers aren't that much of a threat and CeeDee Lamb can be taken out of the game. And their desperation is really letting people know, take CeeDee Lamb out the game and focus on stopping the run. And if these two other receivers, Gallup and the other guy's name, if they beat you, then we don't deserve to win. So they're kind of exposing themselves right now. And thank God, because you know what it would be? It would be a miserable day, a miserable offseason if the Dallas Cowboys actually lived up to their potential.
Well, I got to tell you this. When they did double team CeeDee Lamb on the weekend, man, Houston almost beat them. So there's that. Deebo Samuel ended up getting an update, looked like he might end up coming back right before the playoffs. What's your thoughts on Deebo Samuel coming back for the 49ers if he doesn't come back actually for the 49ers, in time? Because, he has an ACL sprain, he has an ankle sprain, he has a thigh sprain, and he has a knee sprain. He has 4 sprains he's dealing with in one leg, and they expect him to be.
I was just about to say, ain't that the whole damn leg?
They say that
the man is sprained up.
Yeah.
How did he get to the game? Did he take the Springbrook Parkway? Had to do one on 21 to figure it. Listen, that team, I just think that team is. We're about to see a whirlwind of downhill.
Really?
So by the time they get to the playoffs or to the game, the last game of the season, and you think they can make it to playoffs, I would not put money on that. And the thing about returning injury people that return, first game, they never themselves anyway. So you got to add a week or two to whatever that process is.
But isn't the 49ers still potent without him? You know what I mean? That's basically what the question,
I think they're pretty much done. I wouldn't even go by the last game. I think 49ers, bro, I wouldn't bet on them, bro. I'm telling you right now, San Fran, I would not bet on San Fran. You can't get me to do it.
Toure is going to be calling you as soon as this show's over. He's going to be hitting you up. I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't bet on Toure either. Put him out there. Dress him up. Put some shoulder pads on his ass. Still losing.
So, Mike, I guess the question is going to be for you is Deebo Samuel's coming back. The 49ers still look like they, especially after the last game they played against the Bucs. They look like a formidable team. Brock Purdy was the QB. But the question remains is, do the 49ers still win without Deebo in case he doesn't come back for the playoffs?
Let me tell you, their last 2 games of the season, this is why they're fine. Their last 2 games of the season against the Raiders and the Cardinals. Those are 2 victories right there. They're good. Then they play, this is their last 4 games. Seattle, which is a little iffy, even though Seattle's having their problems. Going to Seattle ain't never easy. Then the Commanders, and they play them at home. Then they play the Raiders and the Cardinals. They're fine. They can have Debo, Sebo, Gumbo. It doesn't matter who they have. They probably going to win 3 out of 4 of those games. And when Debo gets back, they're gonna shoot him up with the type of drugs that you can only find in the NFL. And he will be just fine. Well, he won't be just fine. I'm not gonna say just fine. It is a major hit that he's not going to be healthy for the playoffs. I'm not going to deny that. For the playoffs, it's going to be a major hit. For the regular season, they're going to cruise into the playoffs. I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play him until the playoffs come. I would allow him to chill until the playoffs come. You still got multiple weapons that are lethal over there, and a defense that is crazy right now.
Yeah, that's 100%. Like I wouldn't even play him either because he could risk more injury. You know what I mean? And then I definitely wouldn't have him run up the middle like he was doing.
When you got so many sprains that the left side of your heart is sprained, you need to chill just chill to the playoffs. Wait till the playoffs come and you'll be good. You'll be good.
All right, so here's another question for you, T. Jacoby Brissett was benched for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson comes in, and the Browns lose the 2 games that Deshaun Watson comes back and plays. He's really rusty. Everything he comes back in. Cleveland Brown fans are screaming like, "Put Jacoby Brissett back in because we had a better chance." And Jacoby Brissett was a better his QBR rating and everything was better. His passing was better. He scored more touchdowns. I mean, everything was better with Jacoby Brissett. And people are screaming for Jacoby to come back in the game. Question for you is: should Deshaun Watson be benched and get a full season under him, you know, and in the off season and everything else with the Browns, and then start next year, or should the Browns continue to do what they're doing with Deshaun?
Unfortunately, you got to continue. You made that dumbass decision to bring him in so late in the season. You got to stick by it. You can't. The quarterback. You can't yo-yo these guys, bro. Like that was a front office and coaching decision. Dude, I'm X amount of games in. I'm telling you, when you come in, yo, bro, just sit tight. You know, unless barring injury, we got you next year. You know what I'm saying? We got you next year, but we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're not stinking it all the way up. And you going to make that 2/3 in the damn season, make that switch, they got to live with it. Because now you done took time away from homeboy that got himself into a rhythm to do this. What are you going to do? Break that rhythm and go back again when he's been off? Now his rhythm's broken, all that thing? They made that bet. They made that bet.
Yeah, the Browns.
No pun intended to the masseuse.
To the masseuse. Who made all the beds. He made all the beds. They made all the beds. Every last bed he made.
So, Mike, Shaw, I guess the question for you is: do you think that the Cleveland Browns should go back to Jacoby, or should they you feel like T, and should they just ride it out with Deshaun?
No, the Cleveland Brown fans are delusional. Exactly where do you think you were going with that other quarterback? Where were y'all going? Y'all was gonna do what in the playoffs? Were y'all gonna make the playoffs? Like, he's rusty. Duh. He hasn't played since the late 90s. Of course he's rusty. Like, yeah, he's rusty. He's in there. It's $250 million deep. It's guaranteed they have to pay him. Listen, if I'm going to an award show and my Honda is more reliable than my $300,000 Ferrari, guess what I'm driving? That $300,000 Ferrari. I'm going there. I'm taking that because I spent the money on it. Stop it with this. Oh, his quarterback rating is better. His quarterback rating was barely going to make it to the playoffs. Put Deshaun in there. You got him in there. This is nothing but preseason, whether you like it or not. All you season ticket holders, you're going to watch a preseason game because Deshaun Watson hasn't played for 2 years, basically. Yeah. So you're going to watch him learn the offense and remember his instincts from being on the field. It's just like a comedian. If you ain't been on stage for 2 years, I don't care how funny you are. You got to get adapted to what it's like to being on that stage again. That's what it is.
2 years, Mike. 2 months. I was done.
2 months.
2 months. 2 months. I was a New Jack all over again. It's crazy.
Wow. I didn't even know that. To learn something new every single day. All right. So, T, with the Baltimore Ravens, Tyler Hunter got hurt. Even though the Ravens won by 2 points over the weekend, people obviously are upset about the Ravens and everything else because the Ravens are falling very quickly. They're losing games. Actually, they're winning games, but they're still in the playoff hunt. But people are concerned that obviously as the game goes on and as the season goes on, they have a chance to be a first exit, you know what I mean? First playoff round exit. So that's where everybody's up in arms with because Lamar Jackson ain't in. Now Tyler Huntley's hurt. What do you think? What do you think about the Ravens, man? What's your thought and concern? You think the Ravens going to still be able to persevere?
Well, I think this week here, this upcoming game is the telltale of where they're going to end up. Yep. If they lose to the Browns, let's forget this conversation.
Really?
If they win, we can continue this conversation. We can bring it up again in the week. But if they lose to the Browns, cancel Christmas. Let's not even talk playoffs no more. If they lose to the Browns, it's a wrap. Trust me when I say.
Okay, because that's a big rivalry game too. The Ravens and the Browns all the time. Mike, what's your take on Tyler Huntley hurt for the Ravens and everything else? I'm not even sure just yet if he's going to play. But he's definitely hurt for the Ravens, and they'll be down to their third string QB. What's your take on this, bro?
My take is he could never admit this, but Lamar Jackson wants them to lose every game that he doesn't play. Because he is rooting so heavy against them, because if they mess around and get to the playoffs in this condition, all the credit will then start shifting to the head coach and how amazing this coaching staff was to keep this team together. And they will use that against Lamar Jackson and be like, listen, all that we ain't got weapons. Well, when you was gone, we made it to the Lamar Jackson is literally sitting there wearing other teams' jerseys during the game. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, Mike, and you're right. We just finished talking about this quarterback shuffle with money and contracts. He's right.
They need any reason whatsoever to just hit the franchise tag and be like, which is still a lot of money. It's still a lot of money, but it's not the money an MVP should get. But he's rooting. Oh man, he wants them to lose.
Yeah, I ain't even mad at him either. And speaking of people who are hurt coming back, or just people coming back, Cole Beasley unretired. If y'all remember, he was a wide receiver for the Bills. Then he went to the Bucs for 2 weeks. Then he just recently, as of on Monday morning, he unretired, put his papers in, and he's coming back to the Bills. See, Cole Beasley, one of their best wide receivers they had for the last couple of years, is coming back for the Bills. Do you think the Bills actually are I'm not going to say that they need him, because they definitely, it can't hurt to have another wide receiver. What's your thoughts on Cole Beasley coming back for the Bills?
I mean, the scariest thing for people are already scared of the Bills. The scariest thing is to see them stock up on receivers. I don't care who it is. The scariest thing, because you're giving more options where, how we just were talking about, with Josh Allen, so goes the team. He's a top running quarterback right now in the game. But when you give him more options and he don't have to sacrifice his body as much as he is, and he can sit in there and make better decisions because he got all those options, that team becomes that much scarier. I think it's a great thing. If Cole Beasley back for the Bills, you got to watch out now. Now, who's to say Odell's not looking at that like, book my ticket from Texas right now.
Odell go to the Bills too? You think that happened?
Right now, you're making the picture look prettier. The more weapons to come back on that offense, and Bills. If I'm Odell, I see less snowstorms.
Yeah, and that's outside. Mike, what's your take? Cole Beasley coming back to the Bills, adding on to what they already had, because they already got some great wide receivers with Stephon Diggs and crew. So what's your take?
I mean, his last season there, which was 2021, he had 82 receptions.
Right.
I mean, that's a crucial piece of the puzzle. Now, the one thing they won't tell you is the reason why he got ran out of the league is because of his stance against COVID. He was vocal.
Right.
Like, he was making songs. He was literally going in on this COVID situation. And now that they're basically saying the vaccine really wasn't tested and really wasn't there to stop and prevent, they're bringing him back on. And him being added to the Bills, there's no fanfare. There's no drama. There's no Kyrie Irving status behind him. They can move him right in there, put him right back in the slot receiver. And like Talon said, you got a guy in the slot now that Josh Allen can just, okay, I'm in trouble. Let me look for Cole. That's probably the quietest, biggest move that's happening in the NFL right now.
Right. 100%. All right. So before you jump into the NBA and talk about a couple of things right now, I want to throw this out there for the AFC and AFC playoff picture. Let me ask you this, T. The remaining schedule right now, the Jets, obviously, because the Patriots won last night, the Jets are looking outside, the Chargers are looking outside, and there's another team I'm forgetting right now. The Bengals. Anyway, the bottom line is the Jets and the Patriots right now, and the Chargers, Jets, Patriots, and Chargers. That's the three teams. So with the Jets, Patriots, and Chargers all sitting outside, two teams have a potential to make it barely in because the Ravens are falling. Who are the two teams did you think are going to be in the playoff contention, and what team do you think is going to definitely be out and not make the playoffs? Jets, Chargers, Patriots.
If I had to pick one, I would say definitely the Chargers. They've been playing up and down to the competition more so, and the Patriots and the Jets defense, because they have that shutdown ability. gives them an extra one up on the Chargers. Chargers don't have that. Chargers be changing scores. Like they just, how you say, you got to stop the score. They just go up there point for point even when they click and playing good, they're going point for point. They're not really shutting anybody down. As to where the Patriots defense and the Jets defense gives them a leg up to me, because if you stop the other side from scoring, it don't matter if you're only putting up 15 or 20 points because the other team's not putting it up.
So you think the Chargers definitely not going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I would pick the Chargers, out of those three right now.
All right, so Mike, out of the three teams, the Jets, the Chargers, and the Patriots, which team do you think is definitely not going to make the playoffs out of those three teams?
The Patriots. And I'm not saying this to be funny because Frank's a Patriots fan. I just think they have to do too much. Like that defense has to do too much, and even when their offense looks fluid, when it looks good, it feels like it's a play away. They need one penalty to throw them back to first and 15, and it throws up. Once they get behind like that, all of a sudden it just seems like a struggle.
Right.
It seems like I don't know what happened to your quarterback. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's lack of receiving talent. I really don't know which one it is. But I saw him miss throws last night that I didn't normally see him miss. And like he was missing throws that I was just like, wait, that wasn't a difficult throw. For me, obviously a difficult throw, but it seemed like the pass that he was making last year. I don't see the Patriots being able to hang on. Like I think they still need more talent on their team.
Well, honestly, I don't think I'm a huge Patriots fan. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs because of the schedule. Like they got to play the Bills again. They have to play the Dolphins again, and they have to play the Bengals after they play the Raiders. Like they got three. Listen, they could even lose to the Raiders. They got the next 4 games is gonna be really, really tough for them. So I'll come back to that. But let me ask you this right now. The game last night in the NBA last night was the game, obviously, that everybody's talking about this morning, is that the Celtics got blown out by the Clippers. They got blown out 113-93. The Celtics, according to the statistics, they played 2 of their worst games of the season. They were down 2 starters and everything else. And the question is, are the Celtics, the question that all the sports people are saying, are the Celtics overrated, or was just 2 games?
Well, I don't think they're overrated. This is expected. Like you just said, you're down 2 starters. What's expected, if we see you with your full firing power, if you will, we see what you got to offer from the starters to the subs, and a coach has a different parameters of what you can bounce around on. When you got key players that go out, that changes everything. So it ain't but 1 or 2 things going to happen when key players go down. Who else is going to step up? If no one else steps up, if I got 3 guys giving me 25 points a night and 2 of those guys are gone, that's 50 points. Where am I going to get that 50, that production of 50 points again? If I don't have players to step up and at least come close to that, maybe 40, maybe 20 apiece or whatever, there's my deficit. Numbers don't lie. Numbers never lie. In the history of numbers, they don't lie. So it's not that you're overrated, it's you're undemanded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't dispute that. But Mike, there's people up there who were sitting on sports talk shows this morning saying the Celtics are overrated. The Celtics are, but the Celtics did score their lowest points they ever all season. They were missing everything. But what's your take, before I even put words in your mouth, what's your take on the Celtics right now, losing the last 2 games of their West Coast trip?
First of all, they have nobody to defend that rim. They have nobody to control the boards. And just looking at their past schedule, their schedule went like this. They play Miami twice. It was a back-to-back, whatever. Miami, Brooklyn, Toronto, Phoenix, Golden State, and the Clippers. If you take Toronto out of there, that's a stretch. Like that is not an easy task to go beat Brooklyn, go beat Phoenix, and then play Golden State and the Clippers, and you're on a West Coast trip. And they're not fully strength. To say they're overrated, that's just these TV shows having to have something, that hot take to say they're overrated, and Tatum and Brown, that's all they have. And I even heard one person say what Rodney said that I had never heard before when they were talking about Jason Tatum being able to go to his left hand. Like I even heard all the rhetoric now. Dog, they're 21-7. These West Coast trips, number one, these guys are in their 20s. They're in the prime of their life. They was partying. That's one thing. And they were shorthanded. They're not overrated. They're going to be somewhere in the Eastern Conference Finals at the end playing Milwaukee. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I looked at it. But pundits got to say something. All right, so let me throw this out there to UT, and this is going to be a hot take, hot button debate. I think that's the reason I want to ask you this, and then I want to ask the guys on this. The NBA is now, and Kate, for all those of you sitting there watching and everything else, whether or not you're aware of this or not, the NBA is now getting ready, putting names on awards that they're getting ready to start passing out. They started last year with the Eastern Conference Finals Award and the Western Conference Finals Award. Well, yesterday morning, they now named the NBA's most valuable, the MVP trophy is now going to be called the Michael Jordan MVP trophy. Now, here's the issue that some people are having with this. Michael Jordan won 5, Kareem won 6. So why wasn't the MVP award named after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? You know what I mean? So do you think it's the right thing for the MVP award to be named after Michael Jordan, or do you think it should have been named after Kareem? What's your take on this?
Dang.
Well,
oh man,
that's a trick question because in a fair world, you're right. It should be Kareem. He got the most MVPs. He represented the MVP. However, Kareem don't have no ownership in the team. The league. This is a league investment. So if I'm gonna pick somebody to give it to, it makes more sense to me as a business, as a corporation, and as a league and entity. It makes more. I got one guy more vested into the league still, so it makes more sense for me to do that. It behooves me as a league to grab a guy who's, argumentatively the best player ever, and he got a lot of MVPs. That's what they're gonna say, not the most, a lot of MVPs.
But more he got a bunch of them.
Because in America, it's all about changing the language. You change the language, you win all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I see why they did it. In a fair world, Frank, you would be right. You go with the guy that had the most because it's representing that honor. You know what I mean? But I get it.
See, okay. I don't want to say anything yet. I want to hear what Mike going to say. Mike, Kareem got 6. Mike got 5. Where are you at on this?
And where's Bob McAdoo all?
Yeah, how about we give it to the guy who got robbed from MVPs? How about we call it the Kobe Bryant Award? When you snatched the awards and gave it to Steve Nash, which is the biggest joke in the history of the NBA. What you're saying, Frank, makes common sense, but the NBA don't work like that. Right. All I'm saying is NBA be very careful because more and more as time goes on, the stories keep lurking of the skeletons that Michael Jordan has. And sometimes you got to be careful when you name an award after somebody in the social media era and the truth starts leaking out about stuff that happened and why he really went to play baseball. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't want to do. I'm not saying Mike don't deserve it. Mike deserves whatever accolades the NBA wants to give him because it wasn't for Mike, the NBA wouldn't be where it's at right now. He deserves all the accolades he deserves. Kareem was never going to get his name on an award. He couldn't even get a head coaching job in the NBA.
Because he kicked back too much. You're absolutely right. Yeah. He kicked back against too much. Go ahead.
And listen, he even did his best to sell out and went at Kyrie Irving. Like Kareem did everything to try and get back in the league. Kareem even sold his soul.
Sell out.
Kareem did his best. He's like, hey guys, look, I'm part of the establishment now. I'm going at Kyrie Irving. Oh, stop it with that civil rights nonsense. Stop it. That was a long time ago when I sat there with Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali. And
it's crazy.
I know I had Malcolm's number on speed dial. I get it. Don't worry about it.
I'm not doing it.
They know what it is. Like I just say be careful when you give Michael to start naming awards. I think we should keep players' names off these awards. Just make the award you're the MVP. You're whatever. Like, is this a dangerous game they playing, yo?
Well, guess what? You're too late because now here are the other names of the other awards. All right, you ready? Here are the other names of the other awards.
Doesn't Kobe have one?
Hold on. Listen. The Defensive Player of the Year award is now going to be named the Hakeem Olajuwon Trophy. The Rookie of the Year award is going to be named Wilt Chamberlain Trophy. The Sixth Man of the Year is going to be called the John Havlicek Trophy. The Most Improved Player is going to be named the George Mikan Trophy. And here's an award that I don't even know why they even created it, but New Clutch Player of the Year is going to be called Jerry West Trophy. Now, T, when you hear all those names, you got any problem with any of them names of any of them trophies? Because let me just throw this out there, my little tidbit. if we notice something, a lot of these names are a lot of older NBA players, and it looked like they did try to do something with adding Michael Jordan's name to this. You know what I mean? But everybody else, and Akeem Olajuwon, but everybody else, they 50s, 60s, 70s players. You know what I mean? So,
well, listen, man, I go back to saying, what about Bob McAdoo?
What about Bob? I had his jersey.
If I'm Bob McAdoo, I'm at the house pissed off. All I did for this league, I got nothing.
But T, you ain't got no problem with Hakeem Olajuwon being Defensive Player of the Year. Like Hakeem was good, but Defensive Player of the Year, like really,
well,
he was the best.
But see, no, here's the thing.
Why not the Dikembe Mutombo? Why not? You know what I mean? Some of these
because like the same way they stereotype us in real life, they do it in sports. If you go Defensive Player of the Year, you're going to go to somebody like a Gary Payton, a smaller player. I don't see them giving it to a big player. I see the Blocks Award is going to be, if you have a Blocks Award, you're going to go big. Rebound, you're going to go big. But Defensive Player, they're going to go with that smaller guy who has a seemingly harder task to guard people. Those are great names. You can't go wrong with great names.
But T, wasn't John Starks amazing as a sixth man when he coming off the bench? That 6 man a year shouldn't gone to John Starks. Not that I'm trying to.
I know. I mean, there's no wrong answer in it. You grab a great, you attach it to it. Because let's face it, all the basketball we've watched since Jerry West, we could change the logo if we wanted to.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like Mike said it right. When you start putting these names on things, and time goes by, and things come out, and this, that, and the third. Like no disrespect to Jerry West, but when you look at Jerry West, and now since those years, you look at the game now, you like that dude is playing remedial basketball. That's basketball at its most fundamental stage. He can't fly with these high flying acts. He can't Steph Curry the game. He can't Joel Embiid. He can't. All of these guys today that we put up here, you can't do nothing with it. However, out of respect, that's the logo and that's it. So once you make a decision, that's it. But I understand the politics of it. You got to always give room for politics. I'm sorry. I know we don't like to. We like to organically give it what we think it is, but you have to leave a little leeway in there for politics.
Okay. All right. So he said politics. My question for you, Mike, is: do you have any issue with any of these names on these awards? Like, because to me, I could kick back on a lot of these names, right? What's your thoughts on these names, on these awards?
I got that weird one, the most improved player, George Mikan. I don't know enough about him, but I didn't know he was struggling in his career and he then improved. I don't know, like.
Yeah, he did. For the Celtics, he ended up having one of the worst seasons, turned it around to have one of the best seasons and won an NBA championship.
I think I don't have a problem.
Lakers, actually, I think it was.
It's damn near impossible to have a problem with putting these names on. But I will say this: I agree with talent in a different way, but it's still politics.
Right.
Now they have a room for more sponsorship for these awards.
Exactly.
So now they can get more sponsors and say, this is the so-and-so award, Hakeem Olajuwon, or whoever. And it really doesn't make any sense because Gary Payton really should be the name on a defensive player award. Gary Payton is somebody, Gary Payton, before that, people didn't get real credit. Like Michael Cooper was one of the few defensive guys that would get credit from the announcers for playing defense. I think it's all sponsorship. It's all money. It's all, how can we link another name to link another sponsor that these white corporations are comfortable with, and they can go with it, and they make money off it.
And that's politics.
Yeah, and I still think the players are going to call it the sixth man of the year. I think the players are going to be like, I'm the MVP. They're not going to say I'm the Michael Jordan MVP. They're going to say I'm the MVP.
Right. So that leads me to the last question about these awards. Is should Bill Russell have an award? Because he passed away this year. Bill Russell won 11 NBA championships. His name is on any award right now. Well, not that I know. His name's not on any award right now. Should Bill Russell have an award?
They should give him the Get Your Haircut award. Because all these young players' hair is crazy. All these little ponytails and box braids, and forget the guys with the out of control afros. The Bill Russell Haircut award. You know what I mean? Your hair got to be good the whole season. Whoever got the longest run of a good haircut, keeping himself groomed. I'm tired of it, Frank. I'm tired of people making more money and less grooming. How you make more money but do less grooming? I'm never going to understand that. I make less than these guys, but I stay on top of my haircut. These guys get more money and say, you know what? I'm going to save my money. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not cutting my hair.
You sounds like Kevin Durant going to take this personal, bro. I'm just trying to tell
Well,
you.
no. See, that's different. See, I don't get on Kevin Durant because that's a medical issue. That's how Will Smith come get you. You say something about Kevin Durant, you talk about.
You got alopecia or something?
It's not alopecia, but it's a skin scalp irritation thing going on there. Remember, you don't remember years back he tried to do the low cut and you could see it. That's why he let it just grow in over that because it was looking real bad.
I didn't even know that. Learn something new every day. Mike, should Bill Russell have an award? And if so, what should the award be?
No, I apologize. We should have said Bill Russell for Defensive Player Award. We should have, if anybody, who is the award named after you win the NBA Finals? Isn't that Bill Russell? That ain't the Bill Russell, the NBA Finals trophy. It ain't called the Bill Russell Award. If it's not, it should be. And if you want. And if you want to add some, like the player beat the hardest charge award, like Latrell or somebody, like the beat the case award, Vernon Maxwell, named by Vernon Maxwell.
Doesn't Larry Bird has an award for if the Eastern Conference Finals. You win the Eastern Conference Finals, it's the Larry Bird Award. If you win the Western Conference Finals, award, it's named after Lake. I think it's named after Magic, if I remember.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Just so we know, the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy.
Yeah,
Larry O'Brien.
Okay, Larry O'Brien's championship is if you win the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. If Bill won,
he said it should be Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. Yeah. If it's the Lombardi Trophy because he won the first one, then it should be the Russell since he won more than everybody else. I think that should be fair. But I'm telling you, we should think of more awards that should linger out here in the NBA. That we should call the NBA commission and say we got some more awards.
Well, looking at time, I'm going to ask you all like this: since Jordan got an award and Kareem doesn't have an award, and all the rest of the greats have an award and everything else, are we looking at LeBron James getting an award named after him? You know what I mean? Because it looks like we heading down that pike of them giving the most popular players awards. You know what I mean? It's not even about what their skill level was, but it's about popularity. So I think we on that path. What do you think?
Yeah, LeBron's award is going to be like a big pole with a pacifier on the top of that. We're going to give him the Crybaby Award, the most valuable crier. And listen, it's just a matter of time they're going to figure out a way to, and I'm not mad at that because I like players. One thing I give LeBron, bro, is consistency and his tenure in the game. You got a lot. It's hard. I think we like look past and underestimate what it takes to play 20 seasons in this game consistently and be relevant. You know what I mean? So for that fact, absolutely, his time's going to come to get his name on the award.
All right, so Mike, I'm going to ask you the same question in a second, but let me ask T his second question right now. Golden State's playing Milwaukee tonight. The Bucks, the second best team in the East against Golden State. Here's the situation that looking at right now. Jay Crowder is being hung out there right now as a person who might get traded from Phoenix to Milwaukee. It's the deal. They had a deal last week. If they messed it up, it fell through. But they're still trying to force this deal through. What's your thoughts on Milwaukee facing Golden State and if Jay Crowder ends up landing on the Bucks?
Man, if anybody else end up on the Bucks, why? In the words of Russell Crowe, are you not entertained? Why are we adding? Oh, listen, bro. Jay Crowder is a proven ass player in this league. And he's definitely what I call a changer. Not just a game changer, team changer. Whatever team he went to, you've seen the difference. You get on that, his production. When he's on, he's on. You're talking about taking him and putting him on a team who's already getting productivity, who's already the team to beat, and say, oh, let's add some more firepower. Why? This is the guy with this is the crazy guy in the street with the AR-15. Why?
Call him the crazy guy.
You can't buy a pearl handle 380 like that old lady got down the block. Why? Why military weapons in the regular street? This is what this is. You don't add him to that team. I don't like it. Now we're going back to stacking the deck again.
So you didn't say between Golden State and Milwaukee. Who you got?
I'm going to take Milwaukee.
Okay. All right. So you got Milwaukee tonight. All right. Mike, two-part question. One, Should LeBron James ultimately have an award named after him? If so, what is it? And I ask you a second question after you answer that.
Oh man, look, LeBron's my favorite player ever to watch, but he does get on my nerves. Like I'll admit, he does get on my, like he smiles a lot now when they're losing. Like he really is, seems like he's really set, that he knows his legacy is set and everything's all good. If it's an award, durability. I guess it's like good attendance in school. You know, that person got good attendance if they didn't miss a day of school.
Yeah.
Durability is the durability award. The guy who just plays a certain amount of the guy who plays the most games in a season and has to play a certain amount of minutes. Like if you play over 20 minutes a game and you played the entire season, you get the LeBron James award. That's the only one left. That's the only one really left. You can't make an award for most versatile. You know what I'm saying? You can't make an award for a guy who can cover different positions or whatever. I don't know what you would call that, but that would be it. The durability award, LeBron James.
All right. So then the last part of that question is obviously Golden State's playing Milwaukee tonight. Who you got? And talk about obviously Jay Crowder potentially, like he almost landed on the Bucks last week. The deal died, and it looks like eventually they're going to get him to the Bucks no matter what. It looks like it's going to happen before the trade deadline. Which is
a brilliant move because Crowder's that guy who says, "Don't worry, I'll do that for you. No, I'll do that for you. No, I'll do that for you. Oh yeah, don't worry about that loose ball, Giannis. I'll get to it. Oh, don't worry about coming out here and guarding this wing player. I'll go do it. Don't worry about it. Just chill." And you need that guy who has no ego. Like, it's not like bringing Russell Westbrook to the team because now you have to change to fit him in. With him, it's just we play the same exact way, and he's a chameleon. I'm just going to do it really. I'm going to play as hard as possible. I'm versatile. I can hit a three-pointer when you need an open three-pointer. I can get a rebound. I can defend. It's unfair. But that damn general manager over there in Milwaukee, I don't even know what his damn name is, but he knows how to surround Giannis with players.
He sure does. Last question of the day of the show. Cade Cunningham for Detroit Pistons is getting ready to do a season-ending surgery right now. So my question to you is now Detroit look like, because he was the focus point of how Detroit was doing. So should Detroit now start tanking, which they're probably going to lose anyway, to get that William, was it Kamiyanga kid, that 7'4" kid coming from France? Should they do that and focus on trying to get that kid? Because putting him with Cade Cunningham, those kids could literally be a playoff team in 2 years if they end up doing that. What's your take on Detroit with Cade Cunningham? And you're on mute, T.
I'm just a guy that don't believe in tanking. I think tanking is whack no matter what. Like, especially this early in the game. Like, you can't try to coach and put together a couple of wins here and there. I'm not a big fan of tanking, so I wouldn't say they should do it. The combination, I believe, is a great combination, like you just mentioned. But I think tanking changes the game, man. It changes the league, and it waters it down because now it becomes it's right up there with me with Hack-a-Shack. Mm-hmm. It's a stupid thing that takes away from competition. And the whole thing about sports and leagues is competition. So the minute you take competition out of the game, you soil the game, man. You make it whack and you make it not watchable. Like, I'm just not a big fan of tanking. So I say no, they shouldn't. They should play. And hey, if you stink it up organically and everybody just whoop your ass for real, you'll get them anyway.
100%. Mike, Sean, what's your take on this situation with Cade Cunningham? Should Detroit end up starting to tank now because he's done for the season to get that Wembanyama kid from France? I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Or do you think they should still rough it out and try to continue to win games?
Now, this is not your fault, Frank. It's not a shot at you, but your wording, but you had to word it like that in order to give us that question. You said, should they start? When did they stop tanking? That's the question. When did they stop tanking?
They're not the worst team in the league, though. They're not.
They're trying, and they're 7-22.
Right.
They're 7-22. They have the most losses in the league. They're 7-22.
Really? I thought it was OKC.
Frank thought he was looking at the minutes left in the game. 7:22.
OKC is 11-16. They're actually fighting to try and be 500. Detroit's been tanking for years. They're going to, give them the number one. You know what my problem is? If you want to stop tanking, I know this is going to sound crazy real quick. This is going to sound crazy. Stop this ping pong stuff, right? And start giving the team the number one pick who just missed the playoffs. Start giving the team that just missed the playoffs, that is just one player away. And then the bad teams will start making moves trying to improve. Because as long as you benefit from being the worst, there's always a time when you go like, oh, F it, we're just going to pack it up. Give the team that just missed the playoffs and whoever has the worst record out of both the Western Conference and Eastern Conference, whoever has the worst record who just missed the playoffs, give them the number one pick.
How about this? How about put all the teams in the ping pong ball in a thing, right? And then whoever at the end of the season, whoever gets that number one pick gets it, no matter what team, whether you're good, middle, or last. That way, everybody will try, no matter no matter where they are, because it doesn't benefit you to be last, and it won't benefit you to be in the middle, and there won't be the play-in situation because you don't know where you're gonna land.
And that's a good idea, but it's just not motivating. Let me tell you how about we start smacking the hell out of everybody? How about after a certain amount of losses, you get to everybody smack the hell out of you, like. That team, all 15 players, whatever it is, line up, smack the hell out of it. Go down the line and smack the hell. Pick the coach. We just got to pick who it is, general manager, coach, or star players. I guarantee you want motivation? Nothing is motivating nobody than a smack.
Okay, because I agree with that, but because we live in a country who has anti-violence,
you're right.
How about we do this? If you are the worst team in the league, every player is forced to give their password to their cell phone to their significant other and give it to their significant other for 30 days. You want to see players play? You want to see players go all the way in? I bet you Cade Cunningham, whatever his name is, would have pushed the surgery back. He would not have taken the surgery and be like, I can fight this out. I can play through this. That'll solve the whole thing, yo. They'd be blood.
The NBA slam dunk competition, the All-Star weekend, all that.
There would be blood on the court. You think the game is solved? It wouldn't be solved.
Hey, Mike, how about this? After you start losing a certain amount of games, your team, your organization, give mad extra tickets to all your side chicks to come.
And they have to be on camera. They have to get camera time on
and they put the name tag under Embiid side chick number 2.
Yo, this is the show where we call Box Seats. We talk about sports with comedians. As you can tell, we always have a great time with this show.
You can't focus. Every time out you look at the jumbo tree. brother on the warm-up line stretching. Oh man, that's funny stuff. Anyway.
Oh, and the funny thing, if it's a side chick belongs to 2 dudes, like she's got 2 names. She's
they both stressed. You got one girl got 2 dudes stressed. That's hilarious. Anyway, this week, people, shout out to all our Rochester people, our freedom, Miss Pink and everybody coming that way this Thursday with the Comedy Takeover up in Rochester. Come on, check us out at Urban Euphoria. Listen to WDKX to win your tickets for it. And I'll see you there with Bubba Ice, my girl Chanel Renee. We're going to be putting it down, and some of my local good comedians up there like Sydney, sir. Rochester, man, this Thursday. See you.
Media Room 360 tomorrow morning. It's every morning, Monday through Friday. Check it out. Media Room 360, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time. Everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, or you can download the app. Feel free.
This is what you call very funny. That's the show. The show's called Box Seats. We'll be back on at 7 tonight and 11 again with a repeat.
Hey, Mike.
Dog, but imagine if the players don't know that they sharing the same side chick. That could be what? And they on separate teams?
The jokes don't stop. This sounds like a Jason Kidd situation. Remember that situation that happened?
Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah, that was ugly. End up getting worldwide. We'll be back tomorrow. Obviously, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank y'all for watching. It's called Box Seats, y'all. Take care. Peace.